Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Real Deal here today with Henok, who unfortunately had a little bit of a camera problem, but here I am, and hopefully you can hear him. Henok, are you there just for the audience's credibility purposes?
Buenas tardes, I am here, my friend. Can you see a picture of me? If not, I would like you to return and show them the beautiful picture you had on me in your hand there.
Absolutely. This is, of course, the one and only Henok Elias right here, and I hope
a little closer, please.
There he is.
There he is. A little closer, please.
Excellent. There it is. That's Henok right there, whom you cannot see. I just wanted to start out by confirming that there is someone there on the other line. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is GetVOKL. A little technical difficulty, but real happy to be here and real happy to be discussing some of Netflix's greatest hits, misses, and everything in between. I'll hold this picture up here, actually, for everyone to enjoy Henok's face. And there you are. There's your picture as well.
I think it's when I open another tab. When I open another tab, it goes there. So let me just be in another tab.
Absolutely.
And give me warnings about the time.
Absolutely. While you open another tab, I'll really quickly explain here how this little timer works. We both have equal time. That is a countdown clock going backwards. At the end of 15 minutes, we'll be out of time, and hopefully you can jump into a group vocal and discuss with some folks, whether you may know them, you may not, but they're all tuning in to this phenomenal broadcast here on GetVOKL.com. Henok, how has your week been? How is this heat treating you?
It's going well. You know, it's a little hotter here in the valley of San Fernando, but we are in the same general county of Los Angeles, so I think we have similar heat.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, over here on the west side, it is definitely getting warm. In fact, this little suit definitely, I'm sweating a little bit, be under the pits, if you will.
Which pits?
The armpits there.
Oh, okay. You might be referring to the pits of Tatooine from Star Wars.
Shoot, that is a very good reference. I could have been. I'm glad you clarified. Really quickly.
That's really a link to our past conversation about how war can erupt. It's when clarification and understanding don't happen.
That is true. And in fact, folks, if you don't know, Henok is a master's in dispute resolution. Is that correct, Henok?
That is correct.
Before we get into the Netflix discussion, can you give us a couple of tips, pointers on how to, I guess, mediate a dispute if we ever need to?
Yeah, well, the first and foremost thing is to understand yourself and understand, do you work better with a middle person or a middleman or not? So if you are the type of person that is more dependent and thinks that a third party neutral may give you perspective, then you can always hire someone to do that. But if you're more of an independent person and think you can handle matters on your own, then you can try to negotiate with another person directly. Another thing I would say that's very important is to be very aware, and this is where your field intersects with mine, of the medium of communication. And I think even what we're doing now illustrates this. We have, of course, the greatest form, in my opinion, of communication, which is face-to-face. I would layer and tier levels beneath that, going from face-to-face to different forms of video chat, like here with GetVOKL or with Skype or Google Hangout or FaceTime, whatever people are accustomed to. Below that, I would place the classic telephone call or the WhatsApp or Viber audio call that is now popular, especially with our international audience. Beneath that, I would place text messages. Beneath that, I would place email. Beneath that, I would place the pigeon carrier and owl carrier. And beneath that, I would place the smoke signal. And beneath that, I would place the yodeling and belching of yesteryear.
Let me ask you, where would the yodeling, I do appreciate a good yodel, by the way. Let me ask you, where would you place a good old-fashioned sign language? Let's say you're getting aggravated on the road. Somebody does something to you. Little sign language occurs. Where does that come into play?
That's definitely face-to-face. So it's the ultimate form of communication. Now, depending on which message you're sending in sign language, whether it's a message of peace or a message of fornication under consent of the king, it could be very different.
Wasn't quite sure where you were going with that, but glad you clarified. Henok, thank you for those fabulous tips, by the way. I'm definitely going to keep those in mind next time a little, whether it be verbal or nonverbal altercation occurs. I'll keep those in mind. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Let's chat really quickly here. We discussed a little bit of Netflix. We promised a little Netflix. We got The Punisher here. And we have, of course, as well, Jessica Jones, Henok. Of those two, let's start with The Punisher. Have you seen it, number one?
Yes, I'm a big fan of, in general, everything that Marvel is doing on
Okay.
Netflix. So I watch it all. I have not completed season 2 of Luke Cage, which just was released a few days ago, but I'm on episode 4 of that right now. I've seen both seasons of Jessica Jones, and I've seen the single season of Punisher. Of course, before he was there, he was on the Daredevil show, and I've already seen both seasons of that, which were splendiferous as well.
Yeah, and I
Is
gotta
there
ask
anything you want
you.
to say?
Yes, no, I did. I wanted to ask you because the format there on Netflix is a little bit different than television. In television, there are commercial breaks. It's somewhat, they leave major cliffhangers for you to tune in next week. How is that viewing experience different, given that really you can watch a whole series in half a day? Uh,
It's excellent. I think it's crafted so that you can binge.
mm,
And I think people get into it more that way. They're less distracted. They're more focused because they're not seeing advertising left and right.
mm,
And so I think they remember more of the story this way.
I appreciate that.
It's
In
also
terms of,
very easy to watch it again and again. So for repeat viewers.
do you do a little repeat viewing? I know I myself do once in a while. There's a very good documentary. I'll watch it once or twice there.
I'm actually not a fan of repeat viewings. I'm just kind of going through the psychology of the marketing of Netflix. Others are, I know, into that.
Yeah.
I think I am able, if I can toot my own horn a little bit, to remember more of what I have watched.
Mhm. What do you mean?
What I say.
Love that classic thing. No, in all seriousness, by the way, Hanok, let me ask you this because this is something I recently found out. How does it make you feel that Netflix has so much data, so much information that they will actually tailor the clip art to your taste and your likes? Is that concerning to you, or do you actually do enjoy that they're very specifically targeting, I guess, what may trigger your desires, if you know what I mean?
I don't know what the danger there could be in clip art, but yes, the most existential threat to humankind is artificial intelligence and machine learning. A lot of people are talking about this. This is kind of the zeitgeist fear in San Francisco and the tech scene in general, which you have worked with the tech scene extensively in Silicon Beach here in Los Angeles as well. So I think it's one of those key terms or slogans or shibboleths that are being pranced out right now. But I think it's very real that they're gathering more and more data on us. I wish you watched the show Westworld, because then we could really discuss the ramifications of that in a practical way. But yeah, it's I like it because a lot of the things are tailored towards us. I don't think there's anything dangerous about the clip art, but there are other dangers of our data being out there. But in many ways, through marketing and through sales, they're able to sell us things that we actually like. So I'm not opposed to it. And I think the greatest move Netflix made was actually getting rid of the star system, which to me was BS, and returning to a more binary thumbs up or thumbs down. I've always said people should rate how they like the other sex in the same fashion, either thumbs up or thumbs down, 0 or 1, you down or you ain't down.
Tinder style, so to say, a little swipe left, swipe right, maybe a little swipe in the middle for the more advanced apps, or not. No, I know exactly
Yes,
what.
and please don't forget for our Black audience, Soul Swipe.
Oh, one of my personal favorite type of swipes. But I know
And
exactly.
coming this fall, the Ethiopian and Eritrean app Shukor, which means asuka or sugar.
I don't want to deviate too much from the topic, but I know blackpeoplemeet.com is a very, I guess, salient site right now amongst the community. What are your thoughts on that site?
I don't have many thoughts because I just heard about it from the announcement you gave. Do you have a little black in you?
In fact, what do you mean? Do I mean genetically speaking or something else?
I just wanted to leave it up to your interpretation.
Very well. Speaking about artificial intelligence, Hinok, you remember there was a story recently where AI got so advanced that some people believe that it may have been learning some, I don't want to call it discriminatory, but borderline racy type of material. Or do you remember that scene area?
No, go on.
Yeah, people were teaching these machines, the artificial intelligence, some questionable material, and the word got around. And that's just to your point of how dangerous AI can be. Imagine these machines that end up being potentially a little bit more, I guess, discriminatory than real life people. Can you believe that?
Please tell me. I really don't know what you're talking about. So please give me more specifics.
I'll leave it to that. I mean, it is a very fascinating article to research. Really quickly on the topic of Netflix, going back to it, what do you think of the documentaries on Netflix, Henok? They got, big talent like David Letterman. They brought on board Jerry Seinfeld. They brought on board, of course, the one and only Dave Chappelle. Is it working for them?
Absolutely. I don't know if Dave Chappelle's a documentarian, but it's brilliant. I think what it offers that past kind of gatekeeper institutions fail to do is more individuality. So, for example, David Letterman, one of the first things that he did after he resigned is that he started growing his beard out. It's a very prominent and masculine and sign of virility that he's been able to display, whereas before they were trying to neuter his masculinity. So it's one of the many ways in which you can allow your personality to unfold in a freer way.
The beard style, you mean?
Yes, for him, it's the beard. For others, it could be something else. Thank you for all the time you've given me.
Of course. Of course, as our current administrators, potentially it's the hair on our current leader in this country.
Come again?
Oh, and I will. This has been great. I'll take the last couple of minutes here to just remind everybody that at the end of this, you guys can jump into a group vocal, start your own conversation, chat with us, chat with Henok, even though his image isn't there. Chat with me. It's been a real pleasure. Henok, final thoughts?
My final thoughts are that I like Punisher most out of all of them because he's an anti-hero, and I hope that Marvel eventually does a series of Moon Knight, who's another anti-hero, and it would also be cool to see another anti-hero, Deadpool, get his own series.